What's going on, NBA fanatics? This is your friendly neighborhood Memphis Grizzly homer, Memphis X, and I talk hoops. You seen the thumbnail, you seen the title, and yes, I'm going there. But first, every hero needs their theme music.
KeyAno.
Grizz gang, go hard. Baddest in the game, we be on one. I talk hoops, so secure. All up on the court, but we gon' score. Memphis bringing heat straight from Tennessee. Morant spiking, let's go for he that MVP.
I know I promised you I was going to do a season preview, but I'm going to break it down into conferences because it was just getting too long. And even then, I still got some things I want to iron out before I do it. So I am going to skip up a video. This was going to be my video for game day, but we're going to do the Western Conference preview on game day. But today I am talking about something that I was having a conversation with another NBA fan, a non-Grizzlies fan, about this weekend. And also, happy NBA week to everybody out there. I compare Ja Morant to Michael Jordan. Not Michael Jordan, the GOAT, the greatest player of all time to some people. I know some people think it's LeBron. Some people think it's Jordan. I personally think the GOAT is Magic Johnson. But like I said, I'm an old head, and that's my perspective. Now, getting back to this Ja and Michael Jordan thing. I compare Ja Morant to Michael Jordan, and it's from my personal perspective. And what I mean by that is I was one of those guys that was riding with Michael Jordan when he first came to the NBA. When Michael Jordan was getting hated on by the establishment, I mean, the way some of these guys talk nowadays, you would not really understand how they actually talked about Michael Jordan his first 5 to 6 years in the NBA. It is the main reason why I have such beef right now with these old head Boston Celtics media types, because they were the ones spearheading the smear campaign against Michael Jordan. It is exactly the same game plan they used when they spearheaded the smear campaign against Kyrie Irving, who unfortunately was a lesser player and was not able to overcome the smear campaign. But of course, Jordan did. Now, what I mean by that is Jordan was always one of the better players in the NBA. From the time he came in, even though he got hurt early, when he got healthy by his third season, I believe it was, he was one of the better players in the NBA. Now, of course, the NBA is a lot different now. There's a lot less mature players in the NBA because, you know, players usually came in after their junior or senior years back then when Jordan was in the league. So we got a lot of young players, a lot of players that don't have experience. But yeah, by Jordan's third year, he was already probably the best player in the league. If not the best, definitely top 3 in the category with with Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. To me, he was the best player. And I was one of those guys that was back then in the 80s wearing the Chicago Bulls gear everywhere. Not that I was a Bulls fan. I was a Jordan fan. I was a teenager. I was a Jordan fan. I had the Bulls Letterman jacket on. That was my prized possession. Always had a Bulls cap on. That was me back then. And I can remember back in the days getting my Sporting News and Sports Illustrated and all that kind of stuff and being excited to go to the store and getting a physical copy of a paper. You know, you guys don't know nothing about that now. But they would have the most hellacious and salacious articles about Jordan, about how he could never win, about how he was too flashy, about the gold chains, and all this other kind of stuff. That's what made me gravitate towards Jordan, because he was really anti-establishment back then. And this is my comparison to Ja Morant. Even though Ja Morant has gotten a lot of love so far, we have already, as Grizzlies fans, noted the change of tide for the Ja Morant sentiment, especially online. You can go to any post Ja Morant posts, and I know NBA posts are very, very, very toxic. From any mainstream player or media member, it's already toxic. But you can see even posts that have nothing to do with Ja Morant, the hate that he gets from fans, general NBA fans, and NBA fans from other teams, especially NBA fans from teams with other shooting guards or top young players on them. I mean, other point guards or top young players on them. He gets a lot of hate, the same way Jordan did when he was young. And that's why I say this is going to be the Ja Morant Michael Jordan season. I don't mean that he's going to become the GOAT. I am not saying nothing silly like this. I am saying this is going to be the season that he establishes himself as one of, if not the best players in the NBA. I think he's going to be the MVP. I said this all off season. I've watched him in preseason. And if that Detroit game was any indication, Ja Morant is on something different this season. The only thing, and I really mean the only thing that can slow him down, will be a fluke injury. I think you're going to get the best Ja Morant season that we've ever seen. I think he is going to be, I think he's going to be the MVP. I might be a season too early, but like I said, this is going to be his fourth year in the league. Michael Jordan was the MVP when his fourth season in the league. The season after his breakout season, his third season was his breakout season. He was coming off injury and he broke out. And then the next year, his fourth season, he won the MVP. Not only did he win the MVP, but the Chicago Bulls, they still did not make it as far as they wanted to make it, as if they lost to the Detroit Pistons, the Bad Boys, 4-1 in the Eastern Conference semifinals. But the Bulls had established themselves as a sort of contender. These were the years when the old heads started falling off. The Los Angeles Lakers won the championship, but the Boston Celtics started to fall off. Now, this is when the Pistons the next seasons went back-to-back. But the point of this is Michael Jordan established himself with an MVP season as a player that could stand on the level as Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, and that quieted all the noise. And I think that's what we're getting this year. As Grizzlies fans, I still think the Grizzlies are going to be the best team in the NBA, because I think the NBA is going to be so clustered and close together among the top 15-ish teams that the Grizzlies are going to find a way through their continuity and youth and depth to make this season them have the best season overall. I think they can withstand a lot of things over the season, even maybe be able to withstand a Ja Morant injury. They have a Jaren Jackson injury to overcome. And I think all these factors, especially the factor of the Grizzlies are being slept on in the preseason, is going to contribute to Ja Morant winning the MVP in his 4th season, just like Michael Jordan. That is my rant. That is my case. Of course, I am your resident Memphis Grizzlies homer, so I do not take any umbrage, and I will drink my tasty blue Kool-Aid all day. But like I said, tomorrow we're going to have the Eastern Conference preview. Game day Wednesday, I'm going to come with the Western Conference preview, which will include my predictions for awards and the playoffs. But until then, subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video with other NBA fans, and I will see you guys tomorrow with another video.